Two in, two up, back ends, booked up. Look up, I'm flying. Two in, two up, back ends, booked up. Look up, I'm flying, yeah, I'm free now. See now, society's time me release now. Fuck crazy, I'm finna go see now. Big style, big deals, vitamin water, that's a big one, 6 mil, coach came to me like I'm D1, like Will, got 17 hours to the flight out, only got time for a night out, so tell me what you want from me, we ain't getting no younger, so tell me what you want from me, we ain't got too long, no, you know I gotta catch my flight, you know I gotta reach new heights again, you know I run it up at night, you know I only get one life for this, we gon' fuck up the night, fuck up the night, fuck up the night, hell of a night, fuck up the night, fuck up the night, fuck up the night, hell of a night. Okay, let's go, I'm really living like the text went through. J. Cole said it's memes and mules, but I'm the king and adjusted all. Niggas really wanna wipe me down, I got more patience than a hospital. Swear these niggas better beef with me, they never beef with life's obstacles. I'm bad as a bitch with a bone out. I'm way too toned to be toned down. My dick too big, so I'm cocky. Hit him from the back while I'm Twitter with my phone out. Got an Eminem deal, but I'm Hershey. 6'2", dark-skinned nigga with a purpose. Left a voicemail on my phone last night to myself saying, little nigga, you deserve this. Yeah. You know I gotta catch my flight. You know I gotta reach new heights again. You know I run it up at night. You know I only get one life for this. We gon' fuck up the night, fuck up the night, fuck up the night, hell of a night, fuck up the night, fuck up the night, fuck up the night, hell of a night.
Yeah, that's karma. Yeah, get down. Checkmate, I'm a superstar. Stay sane, but you rock with it. Yeah, like a 24/7, I'm a hot mess you love hate. Get less boring, oh my god. Home run, about to swing my shot out. Yeah, like a villainous bring home the jackpot. 주인공과 악역의 차이는 없어. 화려하게 놀아볼까. That's just the type of wanna stop to fool around. Chaotic is big right now. I can see it high. Don't get confused, we are not the same. I'm mostly same. No way, yeah, way, yeah. Good versus evil, so we'll pattern. Let's all get back and party. Just leave it to my whoops, what? Loosen my lips, lips, yeah. That's karma. Ta-da. Loosen my lips, I'm about to say some ish, get it? Yeah, that's karma. Dun-da. Sorry, I'm just better. Sorry, you don't get it. I'ma go where we get started. Tricky while you run it. Don't you think you're clever? 신이라고 풀어봐 사이코에 드라마틱까지 거리들에 미쳐 손가락질은 것만 반전에 판을 뒤엄내 빠져들어가고 너도 아름답고 위험하게 모두 삼켜버리기 새로운 쇼타임 자극적이게 go high 여기 pairing을 해 Good versus evil but I'm with one Just here in the middle That's not any fun Whoa, listen my lips Listen my lips Yeah, that's karma Ta-da Listen my lips I'm about to say some ish Get it? Yeah, that's karma Ta-da 상상이 만드는 충동에서 오는 나를 감싸버리는 어둠이 내 trigger sign 드러내 이 봄은 Get it wrong 다가가라 kumbaya Silence is better 삶을 녹아라 In my power we can 사랑스럽게 while you're running Let's make you clever 다가가라 kumbaya
Go getters, yeah. PCF, Ren, Dution.
Yeah, that's karma.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Building Cognitive Accessibility into Your Games. Hi, I'm Jay Justice. I'm a consultant. I work independently, but I'm available for full-time. So my most recent work has been on the game Stray Gods, which just won Game of the Year at the Australian Game Developer Award, so congrats to that team. I've also consulted on Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realm, and the upcoming Read-Only Memories by Midboss. And with me, I have some amazing developers that I am so excited to be getting to speak alongside. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Tara Velker. So I am the accessibility lead for studios at Xbox. And I first want to say that Jay does not do themselves enough justice. This panel would not exist without Jay. They literally did all of the work prepping the submission. I didn't even give anything to Jay on time, and they still made it happen. So I wanted to talk Jay up. When I'm not here at Xbox doing accessibility stuff, I'm the co-director of the Game Accessibility Conference, where I get to work with amazing folks. And one of the people that I love when I get an opportunity to work with is the great Morgan Baker.
Wow, that's a great transition. Hi, everyone. Oh, can you hear me okay, too? Am I close enough? Cool. Awesome, because I can't hear myself. So I'm Morgan Baker. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm the game accessibility lead for Electronic Arts. In my free time, I like to organize esports tournaments, play tabletop RPGs, and play with my two corgis, Midna and Zelda. Can you guess my favorite game? But it's a pleasure to be here, and I want to reiterate, thank you, Jay, for inviting both of us today. Absolutely excited to talk about my favorite topic, cognitive accessibility.
And hopefully you will show on your surveys that you will definitely submit at the end of the session that it's also one of your favorite topics. So please do not forget to fill out your surveys, because that is how we know how well we did. So I will only ask that twice, once at the very beginning and once at a reminder on the end. But please do not forget to fill out the surveys at the end.
And Morgan, thank you for sharing your pronouns. I forgot to share mine. Mine are she, her, or he, him.
She, her.
Okay. All right, so let's get started. What is cognitive accessibility? Reducing or removing barriers between players and games that relate to cognition. Design or features that enable players to comprehend the information presented to them so they can make informed decisions. Do you guys want to expand on those definitions?
Yeah, so we all have a little bit of a different background in accessibility and just game design and game development in general. But I talk a lot about gaming being a three-step process. That the first thing we do is we get information from the game. What do we see? What do we hear? If it has haptics, what do we feel? And we take in that information and then we process it. And then as we process it, we determine our course of action and then output back to the game. We tell the game what we want to do. And it's this three-step process that is playing a game. Doesn't matter how complex it is. But cognitive accessibility specifically is something has interrupted the processing part of that three-step process for for playing games. And so when we're talking about cognitive accessibility, we're talking about making sure that people can process the information correctly so that they can provide the right output to the game based on the information that they have received.
Yeah, absolutely. And adding on to that too, it really ties into the idea of like perception. So making sure that you can process this information comfortably, you're able to comprehend it, and you're able to use the product with ease. Of course, when we talk about cognitive accessibility, it's universal and everyone wins when we're constantly thinking about it. And so it's really important for us to consider these barriers that occur in the nature of processing information.
Okay, so we've defined it very clearly. The next step, who is cognitive accessibility for? Everybody, but really though. Players with conditions related to processing information, including but not limited to ADHD, TBIs, PTSD, and many other neurological and mental conditions, and literally anyone who needs it, can be both situational and temporary. You guys want to expand?
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't realize is, yes, having ADHD is going to impact how you interact with a game. Having a traumatic brain injury, like having a number of, even one good severe concussion, can interact how you play with games. And even things like PTSD, again, about how do you process information, can all be part of it. And sometimes it is neurological, sometimes it is going to be more specifically related to mental health. One of the things that you're going to see up here is like we all have cognitive disabilities. So like, we're all up here with our notes and everything. They're like, oh yeah, like we wrote stuff down to make sure that we can hit it. So for us, it is a wide range of things that all have a very similar set of needs. I cannot talk about the irony about putting a talk about cognitive accessibility by a bunch of people with cognitive disabilities at 5 p.m. on a con day. Like, we are struggling. We're struggling hard up here. So, who is cognitive accessibility for? I mean, it is for us.
Exactly. And also too, I like that I wrote down it's so suiting. At a cognitive accessibility, I wrote down notes for myself because I'm like, come on, Morgan, you got this. But I haven't narrowed down to thinking about cognitive accessibility for myself. I often think about conditions as we've talked about, like processing, but we also have like processing speed, learning, memory, attention, focus, mental endurance, and all of these things overlap and is holistic. Every disability, every condition, whether it's permanent, temporary, or situational, it is holistic in this nature. And so, again, it's for everyone, but especially if you want to think about those who really, really need it.
And if you want to think about hard numbers, remember that a lot of people who have processing disorders may not even consider themselves to be disabled. So there's millions of people who would benefit from getting more accessibility that would actually address some of the issues that they're having with processing information.
Well, and I think something that's really common is there are a lot of people who, first off, never receive a formal diagnosis or diagnosed super late in life. So not only do we have people who do have these diagnoses who don't identify as disabled, there are people with these conditions who have no idea that they have these conditions and that they've basically been playing their life on hard mode the entire time and no one told them.
Yeah, that's totally true. And especially, we have to really recognize that there is a stigma sometimes too around it, and we want to have that contextually when we're thinking about our games and designing our games, knowing that people will have different worldviews with cognitive accessibility. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. I have ADHD, OCD. I'm like a hot mess express over here. Choo-choo, all aboard. But I think though it's important for us to think about that stigma constantly to make sure that we are approaching our cognitive accessibility with the utmost sensitivity for our players.
Very well said. All right. What challenges do people who would benefit from cognitive accessibility face when playing games? Some challenges or barriers include cognitive overload, sensory overload, unclear objectives, overstimulation, illegible text, and overcomplicated instructions. And we're going to expand on a lot of these challenges because they come up many, many times.
Oh yeah, there are so many and they do repeat themselves. When I think about these challenges, one of the things that I tend to think about is basically, for some reason, the amount of info coming in short circuits the processing part. Like, it's overcharged. It's a transformer exploding. you want to continue, but the input is way, way too much. And, that just means when that happens for a lot of people, you shut down. But that's only for certain people. There are going to be other people where the reverse happens. There's not enough information coming into the machine for you to justify continuing running it right now. So that's when you get distracted. You do something else. But at the same time, when we expand and talk about mental health disorders, like that machine basically, it has its fight or flight triggered. Like it can literally mean that you are transported somewhere else and you are not playing that game anymore. You are in a heightened state of adrenaline, such to an amount that like you can't actively control what you're doing or what you're thinking. And so like it goes wrong in so many different ways, and it's because of all of the things that Jay just outlined.
Yeah, especially too when we talk about like overstimulation and endurance, we have to think about the short term versus that long term as well, right? So the idea of the short term of so much information being thrown at you at once that your brain, I say, it borks. Let's be honest. Where we have the long term of the constant pressure of trying to process information, and every single person has different thresholds, and so we need to design accordingly, thinking about these different thresholds. So like, for example, we have different thresholds that relate to someone who may have like a visual processing disorder versus an auditory processing disorder versus anything else. Maybe it's sensory, maybe it's sensation, and all these things kind of combine together to create, well, what we need to address, cognitive accessibility, right? And so that's something we constantly need to think about. And actually for myself, sometimes I describe it, this might not be helpful, but I say I have a basket and I can only put so many beans in the basket before they all just start spilling out, and everyone has like different types of basket sizes for like, so I have bad auditory processing, so my basket for auditory is very small, but I have good visual processing, so that basket's much bigger. And so we need to think about constantly how we can accommodate and think about our designs and our games in a way that is accessible and approachable to everyone with different sized baskets. I told you it's not a perfect thing, just roll with me here, okay?
No, but I think you can roll with the basket analogy, because what's really nice is like, I have a basket, but I'm just really particular about how full my basket is. Like, I just want it to always be the same level. There was actually a really great talk at the Game Accessibility Conference by a accessibility consultant named Shell Little, and they talked about the sweet spot, between being overwhelmed and boredom, and how so many things can add beans to that basket. And so for Shell, they have talked about having ADHD, and for them, even just having something that's like an animated like circle that shows your amount of mana, but if it's constantly moving, every time that's moving, that's adding a bean into the basket. Like, none of us are saying, you know what the cool core loop of my game is? Watching that animation, right? Like, that's not what we're saying. Like, that was not the core loop for fun. And if someone came up and told you like, hey, all I can do is watch that animation of that little potion bottle in the corner, you'd be like, oh crap, there's a whole bunch of game they're not getting to. But that's because that animation put too many beans in the basket before they actually got to go and play and enjoy your game. And as Morgan said, there's a lot of things that add beans to that basket. It can be the sound, it can be animations, it can be haptics. There is a lot. It could be your inventory management. But again, as Morgan highlighted, it could be different for everyone. And I'm sure that it's different for Jay. I don't know what beans add to your basket. We're just running with the beans in the basket now, by the way.
This is going to be the beans in the basket panel. All right. So, but yeah, the big barrier, it's like all of these things are different bricks in a wall. And the big wall, the thing that makes people stop playing games that they were otherwise really enjoying, is the fact that they're unable to process the information because there's too much of something or there's not enough of something. And the big issue that we have is that a lot of games don't really take into account that you don't need to be throwing so much information at the player. You can figure out a way to make something maybe more modular, maybe more customizable, so that you can pick and choose the things that are going to be getting an input. And we're going to talk more about that on the next slide. Okay, so this is how we do it. What are some of the best practices for cognitive accessibility? You guys had some great suggestions earlier. Allowing manual saves anytime. We all need this. offering trigger warnings, offer easy to understand subtitles, share accessibility info ahead of launch, regular testing for light and motion sensitivities throughout production, and evaluating menu animations or UI to determine if they're truly necessary or offer the ability to turn the little mana thingy off. All right, please tell us more about some of these, because I think these are really great suggestions that can help people who are currently developing games get the idea for making it more accessible in the pipeline before they finish.
Yeah, so one of the first things I want to call out about this list is some of them you may not realize unless you live in the cognitive accessibility space like we do, is it's not immediately clear, wait, why does that help? Like having easy to understand subtitles. Like why does having easy to understand subtitles work? I mean, obviously Morgan, different, deaf, like clearly you like that's a required feature, but like I don't have any sort of issues with being hard of hearing, but I always play my games with subtitles. And why is that? Well, if I'm taking in enough information, like if there's a bunch of sounds, like at some point my brain will still not really understand what's being said. And so I still need that secondary channel of information to reinforce what I'm hearing to kind of lock it into place. And, I don't want to, I could personally talk about this slide for the next 45 minutes. But I think what I just kind of hit on that one, maybe I'll let Morgan and Jay talk about more, and then I'll just give a 20-minute lecture on trigger warnings.
That sounds good.
Okay, all right, Morgan.
Yeah, no, but I think you're bringing up a good point, and it kind of goes back to the universality of when we're thinking about cognitive accessibility, right? Designed for one, extend to many. It's beneficial for someone who is deaf or hard of hearing, but also beneficial for someone who has auditory processing, or the intersectionality of it all. For example, we don't just talk about clear subtitles, but like making them big and making them have like different colors, making sure you have opacity in the background so they're easier to read. And this is because people may have like an SLD in reading, dyslexia. And actually the intersection of that and deafness, as a fun fact, is extremely high. So as a little tidbit for today, just keep in mind that these features are beneficial for someone who has, like, say, deaf or hard of hearing. They have a hearing condition, or it can be beneficial to someone who has visual processing, auditory processing, or, like, honestly, subtitles are just really nice because maybe your kid is in the room and they're being really freaking loud, and you're like, I don't know what's happening in this game anymore. Amp it up, the subtitle size.
Well, I think even like the example of like, having kids in the room or other people in the room, like as someone with ADHD, one of the reasons like having manual saves is really, really important to me is because I will lose track of when the game last saved and I will get distracted. Even if it's my favorite game in the entire world, Alan Wake 2, I will get distracted and I will need to be able to make sure that it has saved because I know I'm going to end up getting so distracted I won't come back. So being able to be like, hey, I need to save right now. It's also really important because there are times I know I'm getting ready to go into something that is going to be cognitively challenging, and there is nothing worse than starting a really cognitive challenging task, but the save being like 10 minutes before that cognitively challenging task starts. So all of a sudden, like, not only did I just die, but now I have to redo whatever I did, which I don't remember for sure. Like, oh, it's a puzzle that I should already know the solution to? Nope. It's gone. Like, as soon as that was completed, my brain has dumped that information. We're not coming back to that. So if I have to redo that now to get to my new cognitively challenged thing, I'm going to have a lot of issues. So being able to, make sure I've saved so that I always know, hey, I get to have a point where I can start fresh, or I don't have to remember that thing that I did 20 minutes ago because I got to save after it was done is really, really important to me.
Same. I can't tell you how many games I've just never gone back to because I was like, I'm not doing this again, I swear. No. So sharing accessibility info ahead of launch is extremely impactful, and I'm so happy to be seeing so many more companies do this because it tells your extremely large disabled audience that there is going to be a way for them to experience this game. It gives people an idea of what to expect, and it gives just really helpful information about how your game is going to be able to be experienced by others. It's fantastic, and I really appreciate getting to see that a lot more. And I hope that it's something that gets done more as well, because it shows that the company and the developers had taken the time to do research and to really implement these practices into their game, because they're ready to go with this whole list. And like, there's been a bunch of titles lately that have you noticed the Ubisoft ones that came out?
No, the Ubisoft ones are great.
Yeah.
And Jessica, is it Roche? Roche? I love how I gestured towards Morgan, like she would be able to tell me how to pronounce that. But she works at Ubisoft in their marketing division, and she did. I'm just going to plug others people's talks this whole time. She did a great talk about their accessibility marketing plan and how Ubisoft specifically built a framework to get that accessibility out ahead of the game's launch so that players can make informed decisions. Because especially in the cognitive accessibility space, being able to make an informed decision as a player is absolutely key. And, we'll get a little bit more into that. I actually submitted a bunch of slides for Dead Space, which isn't even the title I worked on. That was Morgan's title, because they, did some great stuff around informed decisions, which is why trigger warnings are so important.
Yes.
I brought it all the way back around.
Yes,
I talk a lot
did.
about trigger warnings. They're very important.
And you're going to when we get to that slide.
I know.
All right, first up, what are some examples of cognitive accessibility in games that you've worked on or played? How are they beneficial? Can I please do this one because I love this one so much? Okay, so this is an example of an always available training area from Jedi Survivor, which was a fantastic game. I absolutely loved it. This really helped the player experience getting to train as a Jedi. And if you forgot how to do a move, like, it didn't take you out of the gameplay at all. You were meditating as Cal. It was something that was always present. You could just get to a save point and you could just do this. And it really helped keep the flow of the game going without making it feel like they were, like, no one's going to ever say that this is like, oh, it's easy mode or whatever. Like, you're not going to be able to make a player feel bad for needing more training, because it's something that is just part of the gameplay experience. And it was just so well done. I've had other games that were similar, like Monster Hunter has a very easy to access training area as well, but this one just felt so like rooted to the core of the game itself that it was just perfect. Like, it made it easier to beat bosses that I don't think I would have been able to beat otherwise, because I was able to practice so often and not feel like it was taking me out of the game, because it was just part of what Cal has to do to be the biggest, badass in the galaxy. So, yeah.
And then it's super encouraging when you have it built into the game and it feels natural to use it like that. Mm-hmm. Like, if players feel it's integrated, they are more likely to use it and build up their skills and have a better likelihood of having that memory retention. If this kind of thing is like tucked away in another menu, or isn't something that's only locked to a specific difficulty or whatever, they're going to be less likely to use it because it's othering. And players with cognitive disabilities, like, we don't want to be othered. We are regular players. And so taking that time as a developer to make these instances core to the experience, and as weird as it sounds, give the player permission and know that it's okay to do this, is actually really important. And your language and how you access these things really can help inform how comfortable the player feels in engaging stuff like your tutorials, your trials, or even going back and looking up information that they already had available.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too, where it's not only something that's there that's nice to have, but it's encouraged to use. It's something to help people, like, hone in on their skills and get better. Or how many times, like, raise your hand, have you put a game down for, like, 2 weeks, and then when I don't remember any of the controls, I don't remember anything about this game. And so this is a perfect thing, right? Because it's helpful for, let's say, you pick up an item, and you're like, I just literally don't get how to do this. I want to, like, practice it. I want to understand it more, really comprehend the mechanics around it, and really have that information processing and that kind of space with no sort of penalty to practice. But it's also, like, helpful, too, if you're just like, I literally just don't remember what's happening anymore. That happens to me all the time, and I can see many of you as well.
All right, next up, Dead Space.
This one, I mean, technically this is your game. I just put the slides in, so I'm not sure who's supposed to. Yeah. I mean, maybe we could do a little twofer here. Like, so in addition to ADHD, I do have PTSD, and for me, being able to make an informed decision is really important. I am really lucky that I have most of my PTSD under control, but I need to be able to make informed decisions. Like many disabilities, how impactful it is varies day to day. there will be days that like I am unstoppable and I can see things related to my trauma, absolutely no problem. There are other days, if I'm not in a good spot, that seeing that content can actually trigger a physical flashback. I hope that you never have to experience one, but if you do have one, your body literally feels like it did at the time that you experienced the trauma. And it is weird. You're both in your body and not at the same time. It's not great. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. And there are some games that have some like pretty shitty content warnings. Like, I won't name the game, but there was one that I played that the content warning was basically like, hey, this game talks about serious topics. Cool. The topics in the game were actually, these are graphic. It was rape, the Holocaust, and child sexual abuse. And how are you supposed to make an informed decision around those things if you're only told, hey, there's serious topics in here? Like, maybe one day I don't want to play a game about the Holocaust. Like, it's okay for me to make that decision, and it's about empowering me to make those kinds of decisions. And as a person who loves horror games, who very frequently have these very serious or traumatic topics, I really, really want to have that, which is why I was so obsessed with the Dead Space remake.
Yeah, get down. Checkmate, I'm a superstar. Stay the same, but you rock with it. Yeah, like a 24/7, I'm a hot mess you love hate. Get less boring, oh my god. Home run, popped up at the swing, my shot out. Yeah, like a villainous bring home the jackpot. Just leave it to my whoops. What? Loosen my lips, yeah. That's karma. Ta-da. Whoops. What? Loosen my lips. I'm about to say some ish. Get it? Yeah, that's karma. Ta-da.
Sorry, I'm just better. Sorry, we go get it. And the flow will be good. Stand it, check it while you're riding.
Bet you think you're clever. Kumbaya. Hey y'all, checking this out.
Come on now, feel that in vibe. Take what you want, set on track. I don't wanna hug it, a week, see you. Now let's cycle and swing. Don't mess with it. Don't run my dick. Yeah, I'm a bit on my people. You can follow my lead.
Yo, hot party getting high, like a Jenny fight. No shame, just show, shut it out, move reply. So go live, hit up to the front of guys, drag with this, it's all lie.
I never do it the way they do. Don't come away. If you ain't gonna hit it, okay,
Good versus evil, but I'm with one. Just get in the middle. That's not any fun. What? Listen my lips, yeah. That's karma. Ta-da. What? Listen my lips. I'm about to say some ish. Get it? Yeah, that's karma. Ta-da.
Keep it
you don't, you hesitate. The things you care about, you're scared to say. And so I help you do the things you do. But nothing lasts forever. And someday soon you'll sing your final song. But they said that's why you made me to cuss the music
And also to reiterate some things, so we actually did a talk at GAConf, which you're the co-director of. I did a talk with Christian and myself talking about this, where specifically for Dead Space, there is kind of two features happening. One is that you can hide the scenes, visually hide them. And the second one is that we have a content warning that comes up before the scene happens. And we try to time it so that players, if they read the content warning, they can make that informed decision to say, not today. Maybe I'll pause and, come back later. And actually, this goes back to like informed purchasing decision conversation, where actually the Motive website has an entire section dedicated to these content warnings that show how they work, but also to details each content warning, so you can just read them before you even jump into the game. So we try to do that for folks so they can make that decision before they ever even purchase the game, if that this is something that they want to experience.
Yeah, and it connects back to what we were saying earlier. Like for me, as someone with PTSD, my processing sometimes just breaks. And so it's me looking at my machine and being like, do I think it can handle the stress, or do I think that my processing will shut down if I look at that topic? Which is why having these are so great, and why, again, like I cannot stress how great of an example Dead Space is in both being very transparent about the topic matter that is covered and when it is covered, and also telling you in the game, which is double great. As someone with PTSD and ADHD, oh sure, I could read, chapter 5 is about this. Do you think I remember that when I get to chapter 5?
No.
Absolutely not. So the in-game slider, it helps both sides of my cognitive disabilities.
Nice.
And I want to say, if you have any
sorry.
questions related to that feature, definitely just go first to the GA conference talk, because your question will probably be answered for that.
Okay, and then this was the one that you sent me for Grounded, which has an arachnophobia mode, which I have arachnophobia, so thank God.
I mean, we can do the same thing. You can talk about what it meant to you as a player, and then I can talk about it from the developer side.
Okay, so unfortunately, this is a phobia that makes a lot of games just unplayable for me. But luckily, this one turns something that I physically cannot look at without feeling ill and I'm going to panic and not just be able to function, to something that's honestly kind of cute. Look at it. And the way that the option comes up is just really it's so neutral in tone. This game provides several accessibility options that make it easier to read, see, and hear. There's also an option to reduce the spider-likeness of the spiders in the game. Would you like to access those options now? It's yes, so fast. It doesn't make the player feel shame. It doesn't actually have any kind of negative connotation whatsoever. It's just an option. It's completely a neutral choice, and it just makes the game playable. It's just accessibility in a nutshell. We're not trying to tell you what's good or what's bad. We're just making it playable for you.
Yeah, and this was actually something that originated from out of the Dead team itself. So I do want to be transparent. This feature shipped before I was in my role, so I am telling the story of, I have heard from the devs. I was not personally on the feature. I don't want to steal credit because they're amazing. But basically, there were some folks internally who were like, I am not into spiders. And so this is making it stressful. So there was actually user research done internally within Xbox where we ended up taking people from across Xbox, not just on this particular dev team, and talking to them about their experiences and how their arachnophobia manifests, which is why, so it's not called the spider slider, but I like to call it the spider slider, how that manifests. So what you see here is the danger dumpling. So this is the least spidery spider that you can get. But for some people, there was, kind of a middle ground of when it is full spider, that is when I can't handle it. But when it was halfway through the spider slider, they were absolutely fine. So that kind of shows that how spidery it had to be to trip the phobia was unique for everyone. So being able to customize it unblocked people with that phobia. But again, it comes down to, you kind of hit on it earlier, like, you know, being able to stand up to a spider isn't the key part of Grounded. It could be any creature. Like, it didn't actually matter what creature it was as long as it fit in the Grounded universe. So if we could unlock the ability for more people to play by just making it a danger dumpling instead of a spider, like, that's pretty straightforward. Because again, like, that it wasn't explicit in the game score loop that it had to be a spider. A spider makes sense for Grounded contextually. I mean, you're little people and you're fighting bugs and all of that stuff. But, like, why did it have to be a spider? No, it was really about this kind of combat moment and this having something bigger than you that you needed to be able to make decisions around. You know, didn't actually have to be a spider.
Did we include the example of thalassophobia to the setting that they added?
Oh,
I don't know if we did, but I do want to talk.
supposed to submit the screenshot.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, that was my bad.
Another one actually that's really related to this too is was Horizon Zero Dawn added recently a thalassophobia. Hi, I have thalassophobia. In fact, I found out from playing Sea of Thieves that I have thalassophobia. And while I was playing the game, I was on the ship, and as it left the thing, I started just screaming because I was like, oh no. And then I remembered my husband was like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. This is terrifying. And then he's like, he just turned off my monitor, and I was like, oh my gosh, never again. And so one thing I really thrilled. Well, first of all, that game added a mode that makes it a little easier for me, which we can talk about that another time. But for Horizon Zero Dawn, they added the thalassophobia mode, which is like basically you have infinite breathing, you have like all these different features to kind of remove the actual encapsulated fear around the actual fear of, sorry, I should have said it's the fear of giant open water. So the idea of like, no way, like, if you put me on a cruise ship, I will probably cry. Although I really want to go on the Disney cruise so badly.
Oh.
Maybe one day if you blindfold me, and maybe I'll
maybe you just always have an interior cabin. I don't.
But then again, I like horror games, so maybe it'll just be like a horror experience the entire time for me. Y'all are having fun, you know, having your mixed drinks, and I'm crying, you know?
I know this isn't the topic of this panel, but I'm picturing you and being scared, but like it having like a kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's vibe because it's a Disney cruise.
Y'all are hilarious. Oh my God. So it's funny you mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn because the slide I forgot to put in for myself was Horizon Forbidden West, because they added a feature that allows you to change your concentration time and to have Aloy do an auto heal, and also basically remove some of the load of trying to remember all the things you have to do at once to loot the robots as you're killing them, to remember how to aim, to do everything. And it still works in a way to make it feel like you're still playing as Aloy. It doesn't make the game any more like easy. It is still extremely challenging, but it removes a bit of the mental load of having to remember to do so many things to avoid dying. And it's just a fantastically accessible game overall, but I really appreciated the cognitive features that they added to make like hunting not quite as like arduous, and like I died so many times and I was like, let me just turn these features on, and like it just made the game just even more fun for me. All right, so next. What cognitive accessibility features or design choices would you like to see become standard in the future? So navigation assistance is one I added because I really appreciate games that don't just throw you out like Naked and Afraid. You're just in the woods. You're just out here trying to find your way. I want every game in the future to have just press L3. Tell me where I'm going. Give me a ping. Give me a direction. Something. An easy to access controls guide, just knowing what controls do what. And I'll let you go on about your favorite thing.
I mean, yeah, useful trigger warnings. If you have a trigger warning that's not useful, like, thanks for wasting both of our time. Like, just please, just make it useful.
Absolutely.
And Morgan, I know you suggested the tutorials, especially. That was your thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which kind of goes back to like Jedi Survivor. And actually another, I'll bring up an example for y'all, is Immortals Phoenix Rising. Is that how you say it?
Oh, yes.
Phoenix. I'm not deaf. But
Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, well, it's really nice though, because you can actually click through the tutorial. It's always inside the menu, and you can click on it, and they show like visual demonstrations with like actual like, this is the input, this is how it's done. Which again, hi, how many people forget what the mechanics are of a game? Because like all the time for me. And so the idea of having those always available tutorials that also let you, ideally interact with it, because that helps with that kind of cognitive connection of like understanding the mechanics. But also too, it's good to have like those visual demonstrations of showing this is how and this is what it's supposed to look like, to help kind of build that learning capability. In fact, I hear some folks will talk about this like tutorialization, and I've seen folks even play around with the idea of like learnability, the idea of like being able to solidify that in the memory and then also being able to revisit it whenever you want to, once again, reinforce your understanding and reinforce your comprehension. And also too, if you just literally don't remember.
And speaking of don't remember, persistent on-screen prompts, like that you can toggle on and off as an option, but like I really appreciate how in Monster Hunter, I don't remember how to attack. It's been 3 months. Oh, it's right there. Literally, it is always right there. I don't remember how to swing from tree to tree. Wait, there it is. Like it's just part of the heads-up display, and it just makes it so much easier. And I would love if more games did this. So I know that there's a big move to make games more cinematic. Like you're watching a movie, and I'm like, but I want something to remind me that it's a game. It's okay for the game to know it's a game. Like I'm good with it being a press A to attack in the corner like an arcade. Like, so I know it's aesthetic for a lot of games, but I think it can still be accessible.
Oh yeah, and I'm one of the people who also like forget controls all the time, especially if there's a game where there's something like a stealth element where you're supposed to come behind someone and then like do something very specifically to stealth kill them versus like loudly throw an axe or something. I will accidentally loudly throw an axe unless that like, hey, don't forget, just press L1 and you'll stab them silently. Like I need to have that reminder. I'll just be like, oh, and then everyone will be alerted and I'll die because I could not, in the heat of the moment, remember what button is the do it silently, this is the stealth part of the game, you idiot button.
I'm always the meme. I tried to kill a guy and I gave him my rations. That's me every time. There's too many controls. Oh man. Okay. And I remember, Morgan, you had wanted to expand a little bit more on better motion and light sensitivity considerations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, especially for this one. Remember we were talking about earlier, like the overload and stuff like that, because it's not just the information you're presenting, but the extreme of that information, right? So for example, if I have like, this one thing to have a prompt that says like, press A, but if you have a flashing in someone's face and there's all these visual effects around, that's changing the way that someone can process the information. And so we want to make sure, or if it's moving around too, which then we can talk about motion sickness too. All of this is connected. It's the brain. Welcome to the brain. Yeah, I know, right?
All three of us also get motion sick. Thank you for asking.
So we're just a combo, the three of us. Mm-hmm. But that's something we need to consider. And actually, I will give a shout out to Electronic Arts, actually, which released Iris last year, which is a free photosensitivity testing tool designed for games. Anyone can use it. You can go to our website and you can download the code. You have to build a front end for it. But yeah, that's a tool that's available to everyone in this room right now. So definitely check it out.
And I definitely, the cost is free $99 again, versus the other ones out there, which costs significantly more money. So just want to reiterate, if you're looking to do it, that one is very cost effective in that you don't have to pay for it.
And this last one I added based on my experience in game development class with other like indie devs who were just starting out and learning how to make games. Teaching everyone who is learning how to make games right now that it's a good choice to just at least attempt to present information in as many ways as possible when developing a game can actually help you figure out ways to make your game more accessible.
の皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサー兼ディレクターの世界中の光の戦士の皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサー兼ディレクターの吉田です。新生ファイナルファンタジー14のスタートから11年、本当に長い期間献身的な皆さんサポート本当にいつもありがとうございます。ファイナルファンタジー14は次なる10年に向けてさらなる挑戦として今回モバイル版の開発を発表させていただきました。こちらはファイナルファンタジー14本体をモバイル用に完全アレンジしたモバイルデバイス用の最新 MMORPG です。アレンジとはいえですね、ストーリーやバトルコンテンツなどその再現には、ものすごい 情熱と品質、それらを追求してライトスピードスタジオの皆さんが献身的に開発をしてくださっています。すでにファイナルファンタジー14をプレイしている皆さんも、そしてこれからファイナルファンタジー14の物語に触れてくださる皆さんも、ぜひぜひ今後の展開にご期待ください。ファイナルファンタジー14プロデューサー兼ディレクターの吉田でした。それではトレーラーどうぞ。
Are you there? It's me. Pray return to the waking sands at your earliest convenience.
Early in the process as opposed to trying to finish the game and then do it later. Because if you're thinking about how your player is getting information from you, it will give you an idea of like where the gaps are in what you're making so that you can actually help them get over that barrier before you've even made it. And a lot of my classmates were asking me, because they know that I do accessibility consulting, but I also I'm working in Unreal and I'm learning how to make games of my own. But I can't make a game accessible by myself. I'm just one person. I'm like, you do not have to single-handedly hit this checklist that we all have in our imaginations of every single possible access need. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, based on what your game is, what information is important for you to give the player, and how else can you do that using the blueprints that you've learned in class. I'm not trying to tell you to learn everything right now, but knowing what you know, how else can you do this? Just starting with that small thought can really empower a developer to reach a goal they didn't know they could reach because they didn't know it was possible. So the gist of it is that I preach this everywhere, even in the drive-thru at McDonald's. We're going to make things more accessible.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that Jay added and brought this up because it again gives me a chance to talk about Alan Wake 2. So one of the really key things is you can do this re-giving information to people in cool and creative ways that can be enjoyed by everyone. So if you haven't played Alan Wake 2, it's a narrative horror single player game, and it has a very complex story that has you swap in and out between two characters, but one of the things that the characters have is their mind board, and particularly Saga, who is playing, she's an FBI detective trying to solve this case. As you go through, there is literally a board where as you learn new things, you pin it to the board and you get to connect pieces of information, and when Saga learns something important, it gets put on the board, and if she is able to draw conclusions from learning multiple things, she's like, oh, case closed, puts a note on it about what she learned from all of the information that she was able to collect. And this exists that the player is always able to go and look at it, and you can always go back through any of the key pieces of information that you have, and you can even go reopen closed case files so that you can learn more information. So for me, that's a really, really cool way of providing this information I received primarily via audio, via in-game conversations, in another way, but also going a step further and contextualizing it with other key pieces of story information that I have learned in the game, and that also helps inform what your next objective is going to be. So you can also view your current game story objective at any given time on the same thing. So for me, I view that entire mind board as a great accessibility tool because it gives me that information, it gives me that recap, but other people love it as well. So you don't have to be prescriptive, just like Jay was saying. You can come up with cool ways to integrate this level in accessibility that is new and radical and engages all of your player base.
Yeah. And actually this, I know we kind of are touching and getting into this where, so oftentimes when I'm working with different studios and dev teams, when we talk about accessibility, you typically can bucket into options, so play as you want. So think of the idea of turning down effects, turning down brightness, that sort of thing, versus that by design, what you're talking about right now. So the idea of you can make a game accessible to people who have temporary, permanent, or situational cognitive conditions just by design, exactly as you're describing. You don't need, this is this story of all of our lives is oftentimes when people say, accessibility, I have an accessibility menu, and it's that's great, but also too, what are we doing in the actual fundamental design itself? We can elevate our games when we're thinking about accessibility early and often fundamentally through the actual design itself. And this is an excellent example that you brought up for this. Oh yeah, you can see I'm getting on my pedestal right now. Accessibility by design. But of course, it's a balance. Both will always be necessary, but this is an excellent example in the context of cognitive accessibility where you can have it baked in. That's right, I'm making a Baker reference because my last name's Baker.
Oh gosh, okay. And that's it. Thanks for coming to our talk. If you have any questions, we have a microphone set up. Oh, the polite applause is so sweet. Thank you.
And again, please don't forget to fill out your survey.
Yes.
If you liked us. If you didn't like us, please don't fill it out.
Please do.
Yes. Is this on? Yeah. Okay. Hi, Tara.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi. Very nice talk, and I just want to add something that I experienced from been working with people with intellectual disability the last few years. And that's a group that is highly dependent on personalization or individual settings. At the same time, they can't often do those settings themselves. They are relying on other people to do it. Like, for instance, at day activity centers, staff that need to help them to set things up. And I've worked also with games in these settings. And one of the issues is that the staff is not tech savvy. They're not gamers. They don't have to help to work with people. So it's a hard time to get them to actually learn how to make the settings, understand what the game settings are and what it means for the person and so on. So it has to be made super simple so that the staff can actually understand how to adapt it for the individual person. One way of doing it could be to have, like, instead of having a menu with settings, you can have like a wizard style. Like, you get one question at a time, step by step, and then you could more easily, at least, make correct settings. But there's another way. It is proposed by a professor here in the US called Greg Vanderheiden, who is kind of a superstar in accessibility. He's behind the W3C WCAG guidelines and many other things. And he has come up with this concept called the Global Public Inclusive Infrastructure, GPII.net. And one of the ideas there is that you can have some universally available preferences that is individualized and easily available. So you could adapt any type of application. It's not much about games, but I think it can be also applied for that. It will require, of course, that the game industry joins forces and come up with this kind of a universal format that all game companies could apply in their games. So it means that if a person with a intellectual disability would need something, all they would need is a QR code or some near-field communication, a little card or something that, now this person is playing this game, adapt the game.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You didn't have a question?
No, it's just a comment and an addition to what you...
Thank you so much for your
You're
comment.
focusing a lot on the game itself. That's great, but also think about how to make the settings, because otherwise all the features of accessibility can be in vain, because they will not be able to play the game anyway, because the settings cannot be...
Yeah, we have limited time for questions, but this will be a great topic to cover at the roundtable, the IGDA Game Accessibility SIG roundtable, where we can have a proper discussion. Great point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Lindsay. First of all, great talk. As someone with ADHD, like, I resonated with so many things, and it was just awesome. So my question relates to my role, actually. I'm a narrative designer at Hasbro, so I work on tabletop. So working in narrative on tabletop means that you're responsible for a lot of the onboarding and making rules clear and accessible for everyone. So I was just wondering, in your experience with playing tabletop games, is there anything that sticks out to you specifically that you think could improve the onboarding experience?
Ooh, good question.
Well, so for me, handing me a rule book is like a no-go. It's not going to work. So for me, it's always like, I am more like, the number one way that I will learn a game is if someone is there to teach me, which I get. You cannot ship yourself with every game, as much as I'm sure you would love to. So for me, I do a lot better with, like, normally I do not do well with verbal instructions, so I acknowledge that what I am getting ready to say also doesn't sound like it would make a lot of sense. So a lot of times it's visually being able to see what is happening, like the cause and effect. So for me, it's not as much like verbally hearing instructions, like that's not going to work either, because I will stop paying attention. But having, even if it's just like GIFs in the middle of written instructions, like, hey, like, you're watching a board game, or here's your paper, Do you want to see this instead? Like, go visit this website where we've inserted GIFs in the instructions. That is way more likely to sink in because I will see like the connection of what I just read and what it translates to in the game itself. So that's something I need. But I know, Morgan, you've got a lot more like actual, Morgan said actual accessibility work in board games. So
Yeah, no, but it's absolutely true. When you're thinking about this, you want to connect the dots, right? And so actually, well, speaking of board games specifically, one thing that I like is, so I used to do consultancy work over at Exploding Kittens, which is a lot of fun helping with accessibility there. Super cool. And one thing that they value a lot is making sure that they have very short videos that are super fast but very instructional on exactly how the game goes. In fact, I wish Carol's here, she could say, but they have like literally a rule where it's like, if you have it within X minutes, players should be able to get it. And so this is something that's really helpful because it reinforces, hi, I have ADHD, so when I love board games, I will like drool. If you sit me down, I will just like not understand what's happening. I see all the colors and the pieces, and I'm just like, my brain goes this way, and then people are like, hey, Morgan. I'm like, yes. Oh, sorry, you were talking, and it compounded with the deaf thing. And so you want to make sure that you have things that can create these actual like synapse connections for players. Show, don't tell, right? Interact. That's why too, I like with board games where they have like faux, like put these 5 cards, pull from the deck and interact, that type of stuff, because it helps people go, oh, I see. So in a situation like this, you can kind of like design your games around that. And so you should check out, though, for Exploding Kittens, they did a talk last year on accessibility and how they've been thinking about it for board games. And
We did a good one this year, too. It was awesome.
Okay, cool.
All right, thank you so much.
Just a real plug in also quick, there's a game called Side Effects that has a QR code that you can watch someone actually role play the whole the game logic in the loop. I love when there's a QR code to a video. I'm also an adult who has ADHD, and I'm an occupational therapist, so I work with kids who have ADHD. I was lately diagnosed as an adult while working with kids who have ADHD on the spectrum, and and have also physical disabilities. I saw a lot of myself, and I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense, and I'm struggling. Wow, this makes a lot of sense. Oh my God, okay. I'm seeing, a lot of them end up, really relating to me, and I was like, yeah, that was me. You are me, and I get you. For my question is, for someone like me, I'm kind of trying to transition out of the clinical field, and I've always been a gamer. I love ADHD and D&D. Those things go really well together for a lot of beautiful reasons. But I'm trying to get into more of the accessibility and video gaming world, and I love the fact that you guys touched upon executive functioning, basically, and all the way you break down stuff and making cognitive accessibility in games. What would you give as an advice for someone who's looking to get into and kind of doing what you guys do? So,
great question.
You all have such different paths.
Yeah, so if you ask anyone who works in game accessibility, how did you get into game accessibility? We all came from radically different backgrounds because it's such a new field overall. Standalone game accessibility jobs have not existed for a very long time. So I guess the good news is there's not a clear-cut like path forward, and you can use your previous experiences and forge your own way. And the bad news is there's not anywhere clear-cut, so I can't give you a guidebook, and you're going to have to forge your own way. But honestly, I think a lot of good accessibility work comes from connections and being able to learn from a wide breadth of people. Because everyone in accessibility comes from different backgrounds, you are constantly learning from everyone else in accessibility. Like, I learned shit from these two constantly. So
for me, I came from education and I work in games now. How did that happen? So yeah.
Honestly, I would start with finding a game accessibility community that it's easy for you to connect with, whether it's finding people who are doing groups, meetups locally, or whether it's joining something online, like the Game Accessibility Conference has an online Discord.
Yeah, I've been in Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, just finding those things and then making the connections, and like again, like there isn't a guide, but like you'll start to see your path forward as you get more information. So that's not very helpful, but it's honest.
No, but it's true too. Just to add, sorry, is that there's like also things like accessibility game jams are happening and stuff like that. And so that's a fantastic way to start. And I will always say this. It's good to focus on accessibility, but accessibility touches everything in games, right? That's what we've been talking about. There's probably people here from every single background, you know, doing different things in games. And so the nice thing is to get into accessibility, no one's stopping you, right? If you work in games, you can just do accessibility. And I think that's the beauty of it, right? And then as you fall in love with it, if you find that this is something I want to focus more and more on, then you can kind of start exploring the career paths for that. I mean, that's basically, I was a game designer. I mean, like we just kind of all kind of fell more and more into this field in that way, so.
Okay.
I wish there was like a manual. I don't think any job has a manual in this industry.
No.
But this one definitely doesn't.
Do you need this lower? Yes, please. Okay.
Hi, I'm Frederick, and I have a question for Morgan about about the trigger warning in the space. How can you avoid spoilers with this?
How do you avoid spoilers in the trigger warnings of Dead Space?
Oh, that's a great question. And I have to give the full-blown credit. So for the trigger warnings in Dead Space, we call them content warnings. Pick your tomato, right? But the way we avoided that was we went through the entire script, and the narrative team went above and beyond to make sure that they wrote language that wouldn't necessarily spoil things. If you've played Dead Space, you can imagine that there might be spoilers as you're saying certain things that, if you know the game, that kind of involves mental health at the end of the day. And so it was completely on the narrative team, and they went through and did like mitigation and went through different risks, looked through the actual language itself to make sure, is it telling the players what type of content? And I talk about this in the GA conference, where a lot of the content warnings are grounded specifically in violence towards humans. And so we made sure to write the warnings in a way that can convey that information quickly, one, but also make sure that it doesn't spoil anything else or kind of pull someone out of that immersion. I give the full-blown credit to the narrative team for achieving that.
Okay, thank you.
Great question.
Yeah, that's a hard one too, if you know the game.
Hi, I work for a platform which is mostly centered around user-created content. Do you have any suggestions for how we can, add accessibility, but for, UGC for things that are end-user created?
Is it like mods? Is it art? Like, what's the content?
Sort of everything. It's VR chat.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think the first thing is, so accessibility in any space is as much about culture change as it is about the actual technical or design implementations. So honestly, like one of the first things that I would do is, because it's reliant on UGC, like you cannot personally go in and verify every single piece of content to be accessible. That's just not feasible realistically. Like that does not scale. And so honestly, what I would start with would be having an educational moment or push for your platform to do the education and training to give to your content creators so that they understand what it is and what it's important. So the first step would be kind of creating that educational moment, but then the second thing is you'll need to figure out some sort of rewards. Like if they have done it, how can you reward them? So like one of the things that exists on not just Xbox, but also PlayStation is our accessibility tags in the storefront. So if you meet certain criteria, like your subtitles are the right size, the right contrast, et cetera, you can get the subtitle tag in the storefront. Having subtitles does not guarantee you the subtitle tag, because they have to be good subtitles to get the tag, right? So like, is there a way where you could kind of have some process that, hey, if a developer has said like, hey, we have done accessibility, is there a way that you can make their UGC more prominent? Can you give it a higher rating? I don't know enough about, I get VR6, so I don't really go into VR chat and that kind of thing. But
That's kind of how SEO works for accessibility outside of games, right? If you're adding like alt text, the SEO actually improves for it. So you can think about it through that lens of rewarding. I love that. Rewarding the players for thinking about accessible design and those who are creating the content itself. So I don't want to spread misinformation, but I think Roblox might have a very similar system to this. So
I think that's right. I think they even had like they put out guidelines too. They actually know. All I'm doing is subconsciously copying what Roblox did a couple of years ago.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question.
Hi, my name is Monica, and I almost stabbed my eye.
Oh no!
So I recently started a UI UX tech club, and I really want to include accessibility in the planning phase as opposed to end. But I have no idea at all about accessibility besides the link for the URL and adding ALT. And then so I'm learning a lot, and I'm part of the video game development club at my school, and I'm usually in some kind of leadership or game manager position, and honestly, we're all learning, and there's not much time. So I've experienced, at least in the game area, where accessibility is kind of just chopped off. So I was thinking, and I heard that there's not really a manual, but I was thinking, are there some resources out there that are super bite-sized so we can focus on one aspect of accessibility? Because we also kind of not argue, but we're what about subtitles? What about something else? And I'm I don't know which one to pick, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, so there is a lot to we've all been in accessibility for years, so what we would do would be different. So I guess there's two things for each individual title. What you go to tackle will not be the same because it is going to be dependent on your team size, your tech, what you've already done, and what is the fastest, easiest, most bang for your buck is going to vary. That being said, there are a bunch of guidelines that are publicly available, including the Xbox accessibility guidelines, but they are very, very dense. So for me, an accessibility expert, those are really easy to work with because I already have that background. Something that may be more easy for you to consume is gameaccessibilityguidelines.com. And one of the things with that website is it's broken down into basic, intermediate, and advanced. So that if you are brand new, you know kind of hey, these are some of the most important ones that you can start with and tackle those. There is also some really great other things that Xbox has put out. Transparency, I did not work on them, but the team of folks who did are fantastic. Such as there's the Microsoft Gaming Accessibility Fundamentals Training Course, which is a learning course that you can take that'll give you a lot of really great information. There is also, everything has acronyms, and I never remember any of them, and I feel really bad because Brandon's right back there, and he would actually know the names of these things. But one is the...
We'll bug him after the panel.
The person... There's one that has personas that break down some common cons.
The gaming and disability experience player are they?
See, I'm on the hook. I'm on. Gaming Experience Disability Guide. And there's also a great one on in-person events that Brandon actually wrote, but I would recommend all of those resources.
Thank you so much.
To start. Yeah, thank you. And I think with that, we're out of time. They've opened the doors. Thank you.
Don't forget to fill out your survey.
Fill out your survey!
Okay, I know that I was quiet for 2 hours. I was working on things in the background. Did you guys see that Papa's Pizzeria is now on Steam for $4? Should I buy it? This is a joke. We're not buying it. I'm not buying it. I am not buying Papa's Pizzeria at all. Why the fuck is 420 Blaze It 2 Game of the Year Edition on Steam? Bro. What year is it? It's not 2014 anymore, please. Me, I've been working. I hope everyone's well. I just just been chilling. I don't know how to put it. I sorry for starting stream late. I was kind of like chilling. I was like, ugh. I didn't get a job, and that was basically it. But I also had to wake up hella early to get auto tickets, and then that was it. That was the reason why I felt like shit. I woke up this morning and I had to whatchamacallit. I had to go in, get tickets. I was able to get the tickets, but I woke up at like 9 and I slept early, so I was like, ugh. My like internal clock is like fucked up. So other than that, I'm just chilling. Not too much to get done today, at least not a lot of engine stuff. I'm just doing a lot of the stuff that I did like on like other previous days where I'm just working on things on the side. A lot of it is just going to be like taking pictures, building more mood boards and whatnot, and that's about it, rather than trying to actually get a lot of work done, because that's fine. Yeah, I hope everyone's well. It is cold, so we have a atmospheric river running in my area, so I'm just like, I don't really care to do much, to be honest. Or not, like, I don't know. It's gonna be raining a lot soon. Don't know if I care enough. UV 4-hour barista shift. Yeah, I'm just chilling. I just wanna watch a fucking Jinx video. Oh, they're gonna start the next video. Oh.
You can try to run, but me, I run this place.
You don't know how bad I want to play this game, bro. Yeah, I told a friend once this comes out we're playing. This is a league fighting game. Playtest Jinx in 2025, bro. Just put me in the game. I want to play it so badly. I switched to Valve Steam controller for 30 days. Damn, it's not a bad controller. Why isn't League of Legends dead? Because it's a game that people enjoy. Yeah, a lot of this right now has just been like gathering images. So I'm just really like, how do I put it? I'm not like tired. I'm just kind of like, this is just like the sit down and like think kind of stage of game dev again, because right now that I'm not in like because the game's functional now, right? Like you can play the game, it works. But I probably should have taken pictures while we were watching it like a couple days ago. But most of this is just like, I'm just gonna sit down, I'm gonna chill out, I'm gonna take pictures of places that I need to, and then just kind of like label what I want the aesthetic to look like, and then just be that. I don't want my game to be like place Japan, like at all. But a lot of my mood board has been like leaning towards a lot of it. I think the other thing too is that I have to look at UI and then figure out how I want to do the UI too, which is like a whole separate other thing. It's like, it's a lot of stuff. But I think it's fine. I don't know how long this stream is gonna be. Yesterday was long, but today we're just chilling. There's nothing crazy to do, I don't think. I love this video so much. It just blows my eardrums out. Where's JJ? Is JJ still here? JJ, play. Hop on X Defiant with me. I'm just kidding. That game is dog shit. I was like trying not to say Dookie. I was trying to say Dookie, but then I was like, I don't think it matches how much I did not like X Defiant. People really like X Defiant, and I was like, I guess. Not particularly good. Dude, I love these Japan walking videos so much. You know what's crazy? I've had people comment on my my YouTube shorts. I sound really tired. I'm not like super fucked up right now. I'm just, well, I am tired. What? I've had people comment on my YouTube shorts recently, and it's really fucking funny because the people who or some of them were just really like, oh, I couldn't focus because of your beautiful face and your beautiful hair. I'm like, please just watch the fucking video. It's like fucking 2 seconds long. Like, please don't try to fucking like riz me up in the YouTube comments of my videos or TikTok. It just feels so weird. Ooh, yeah, the quality looks a little bit fucked up compared to yesterday. Probably because I launched it on my other monitor first. There we go. Great pictures. Forgot, do they go to multiple sections in this, or is it just at one? No, they just go to the Tokyo Dome. Oh, there's this section. The other one too, the walking around Shibuya. What was it, Yokohama video? Man, I'm tired as fuck today, huh? Yeah. I got auto tickets. That's cool. Anyone like auto, dude, I'm so excited. I'm a little pissed though because the amount of not money, but no, it is the amount of money. The amount of like the ticket prices for this year in terms of like what's it called? The ticket prices for the auto concert this year was so much more. Here, we should probably move into just chatting instead of co-working. Just chatting, there we go. And people come in and they're like, what the fuck? I got explicit content and now I'm watching Splatoon, question mark? And I'm like, yeah, those are the ones I set up, bro. Fuck. Did we not just watch this one? Did it just recommend this? I don't know. I had the wrong video up. Where's the Yokohama one? Best Christmas lights preview. Dream Christmas. Downtown Chicago. Walk into heavy rain. Christmas in downtown Tokyo. Oh, that might be good. Did we watch this one? I think we did not. We did watch this one though, I think. Yes. No, we didn't, because some of them were the ones that had... Well, no, we might have, actually. I do remember this walkway. Dude, actually huge for Virtual Japan to exist, because it does give me, like, a lot of really good reference photos that I want to highlight. This, yes. A little too high end. I want to go back. JJ, I didn't even get to go. My friends are there right now, and I'm so sad. I'm literally just like, fuck, dude. Everyone I knew went to Japan this year. Except for me. Let's go, okay. You wanna pay for my, do you wanna pay for my thing? My ticket? Tokyo Station. That was the one that I wanted to use. Don't think I want a wide street. Oh, yes. If I won the lottery, yeah, okay. Thank you, JJ. I'm glad that you're picking me out of all of your friends to go. Because I think I deserve it. Because I think I'm pretty swag. I'm Filipino, so by default I am. Sorry. I sound so dead, dude. Swagapino, it's true. That's wet. It's like, half of this fucking thing is just me looking over and going, I like that, and I take a picture. And I save it to my mood board. Is there anything else? Most replayed. What is this? Look how pretty this is. Look at how clean everything is too. That's crazy. Oh my god, that's right. I needed this one. When are we going to Korea? Did you go to Korea this year? More walkways, huh? Tokyo Station. This might be good reference for a different... Yes, I did want to be here though. Ginza, this is where Nari was. Nari was like, I was there, and I was like, Nari, please bring me next time. Guys, I want to go to Japan so badly. My friends are bringing me to Japan in a way. They have a little cutout of me and they're taking pictures with it. The FOMO is so real. That's literally how I feel right now. I'm just really happy that I was begging my friends. I was like, can you guys make a little cutout of me and then bring me around so it's like I'm there? I was like, it's so funny. They did. I'm actually like so thankful because it's so cute. I'm literally not there, which is like the funniest part. And one of the pictures they had me backwards, and I'm like, aw, it's so funny. I love it. We're really kind of just living. It's really nice. No, keep looking at it. I have to go back and take a picture. I really like how a lot of the Japanese stores are like really tiny. Or at least they're not tiny, but they're just very compact, and I kind of like the vibe of it. You know what I mean? Like that store that we looked into, it was like kind of massive. But like it dug divots in the ground to make space and shit. Like it's just so cozy. Not cozy in a way, but just like it's just nice and compact. Where's that one image where they're all like, the Japanese live by this code called like it's like something in Japanese and it literally just says to live, and I was like, that's so funny. People who are all like, yes, Japan actually has a word for that, and then it's just like, dude, shut up. Sorry, there's like no thoughts in my head right now. I'm just being a hater. Dude, it was so funny when we bought the tickets to Auto, because we were like, yeah, it's only gonna be like 100, like at under 100 at most, and then it was like 150. By the way, the tickets for Auto were $150. Fuck this, dude. And they're like, oh, maybe it's a venue, and I was like, okay, but like maybe they should like tell us the prices before. Actually, fuck whatchamacallit. My what was it called? The I don't know. I think that Crunchyroll kind of fucking sucks when it comes to handling is it this one? No, where's Virtual Japan Yokohama? I need that. I think that like Crunchyroll just fucking sucks. Is it? Where's the Christmas one? Oh, it was this one. Did we get through this? I feel like we did, but this is exactly what I needed. I was like, I know there's like a part in here that I really liked. I found it. Like immediately. Yeah, because this is where they play like the fake music. Because of the copyright. I do not blame. Yeah, this is where we saw the Shake Shack. Is Nazumi still here? Nazumi, I literally bought fucking Habit. Because I was just like thinking about it. I was just like, damn, I'm so hungry. And I just bought Habit Burger. This is really worth. My friend got me Graving donuts. I know you were saying, I know you meant craving. I read that as craving like initially. I just think it's really funny. Me, when I bury my donuts, they passed away last year. Sorry. Or they passed away like 3 months ago. It's time for us to bury them. Ominous track. Actually, I would not like to be in that pit. We already took pictures of this, yes. Look at the nice building over there. Some people are like, actually? No, I feel like a lot of the Japan architecture is really nice. Again, not to be like thing Japan. I feel like there are other places that do like really good architecture. I just think that like, I mean, well, America is mostly just like gentrified neighborhoods at this point, and I don't fucking care. And I'm not a huge fan of European architecture. But I really do like Japan and Korea's architectures. I didn't really like Seattle, so. But Seattle is very brutalist. We did not finish this. What the fuck is this cube? Yokohama projector. Fireworks. Look at all these people here. Holy fuck. That is like a billion fucking people, dude. Me when I'm in the water or something. Me when I'm projection mapping. Okay, yeah, we didn't watch the rest of this, but that's fine. I think it probably isn't worth. Well, I actually got all the things I needed to get done. At least most of the things I got to have to get done today. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the free GDC video that they cannot mark me for because it is quite literally just on their fucking YouTube channel. Please don't hunt me down. I mean, like, okay, this is the thing. GDC is a fucking scam. If your company can pay for it, go there. If you get a free pass, go there. But, like, if you have to... I'm in this, by the way. I'm literally in this video. You guys want to hear me in this video? I'm literally in this video.
Yes, the question.
Particularly launch the talk, and then you can add mobile down the line if people.
Like, I'm straight up in this GDC talk.
Thanks. Thank you. And hello. Hi. Thank you for like.
I was so nervous.
Your game is like super funny. I have seen myself die in all of my friends' streams. But I
this was specifically aimed towards Danny, where he fucking killed me. By the way, Danny fucking killed me in his fucking thing. I think it's because I turned evil, and then Danny had to kill me.
Was your like connection between?
Look at me trying to cameo Nya 28. Live GDC cameo. This is also the one. This is also the one panel the one where I use that really professional image of me. That is literally from this panel. I'm pretty sure I still have it around somewhere. Jesus Christ, I hate this shit. Sorry, I was looking over and I see like a horrible picture because Eve tweeted something out and then deleted it. But it was like hours after she deleted it. And it's still in my fucking like... It's still in my like... fuck it, it was still on my feed. And I got so, like, not annoyed, because it's not Danny's fault, but, like, repulsed? How do you put it? I don't know. When you get, like, blasted with that shit, oh my god. I was annoyed that Twitter kept showing it to me. Like, Eve already deleted the image. Like, don't show it to me. Anyways, this is the exact moment they took this picture, by the way. This is like, it's so funny because you can see Shoto in it. This is like my favorite part. My favorite part is that Shoto is in a official GDC picture now. I'm pretty sure I can, yeah, I'm so happy that they took the picture at this angle because it just cuts off my name. Obviously, I would not show this picture if it did not have my full last name. But this is literally a picture. This is me at the panel asking this question. This is literally like live Neko cam.
Have you implemented like any changes, or has it
Me so scared to ask them. They were wonderful people, by the way.
Yeah, so the question was like
Thomas is the guy on the left who works on the stream integration stuff. He was the one who makes like the plugins, and then Harrison was the guy on the right who did the coding stuff. They were both really fucking nice. I also got a pin from, I forgot who it was. I think it was like the creative director on Cult of the Lamb, and he just gave me a pin. He's like, we have so many extras.
And when it comes to all of the future updates for Twitch integration, like I mentioned earlier, I went through as many Twitch channels as I could and just got any feedback I could from them and what they
This is me asking about how they got feedback from people.
We definitely,
because this is something I will have to do.
With as many Twitch streamers as we can, really.
I think it's mainly a combination of both, just talking to streamers, but also like kind of instinctively feeling what kind of features would work well and what kind of features would need to be updated at some point to be valuable to streamers and viewers.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! God, you're such a fucking nerd. Literally me. This is literally me. It's like literally me. That is literally, I can say that. That's literally me. That is quite literally me. That is just me speaking. That is literally me on the microphone saying, thank you. Shut up, bro. You're so annoying. Not the speakers. I mean specifically me. Okay. Do I just keep streaming, dude? I know I just streamed to stream today, but I was like really gonna work. I don't know. I think it's because I had to wake up, dude. Hunting for tickets is like the worst fucking thing in the world. Should I put in my votes for oh, I should put in my votes for the Game Awards, huh? We didn't do that. We didn't get to do that. I did put one in already though. I think you guys can probably guess what it was. It was the one with Pecora. I just put Pecora in here. Let's put our votes in. Let's put our votes in for oh, it doesn't show like my full name anywhere, right? Oh god, whatever. Here, let's put Game of the Year. Oh shit, get rid of NekoCam. Okay, Game of the Year. I played literally like one of these games. I do want to give it the Baltro. I keep calling it Baltro. What the fuck? Oh, why is he hiding? What the fuck? Oh, there we go. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Here, we'll go back. We'll go back to this. I think this is like too much. You know what I mean? Oh no. Did you guys vote for your was it the Game Awards stuff? Oh, what the fuck where are we? Where's my link playlist? I want to listen to that actually. That was like such a chill playlist. And I don't have to worry about getting like shot by DMCA. They're like, you can't like listen to this. For real though. Oh my god. But yeah. I don't know. I'm just tired, man. Oh, if anyone's wondering how Hillary Clinton stan is going, like the TikTok account, she's going well. She has not moved. She is a dead corpse, like the campaign, but you know how it is. You deserve a relaxing day. There we go. Dude, do you guys remember Hillary Clinton stan? Katy Perry was singing at Kamala Harris's campaign, and it was like really embarrassing, if I'm gonna be honest. Okay, let's go vote. Let's go vote. Let's go vote. Yay! Is this from me? Oh, thank God. Do you guys wait. Best game direction. This is okay. I'm gonna be real. It has to be Balcho. Like all of these are just the same thing. I think if this is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, it has to be Baltro. Because this is like Dark Souls again. Astrobot's sick as fuck, and I think it might deserve it, but it's more or less just more Astrobot, which is fine. Elden Ring is more Elden Ring. Final Fantasy VII is more Final Fantasy VII, and the Metaphor is just like another JRPG. And I don't think that counts. Best narrative, can we just, I haven't played any of these games. I'm just gonna give it to Like a Dragon, just because it's the only one I played. Best art direction, I'm giving you the Metaphor. Metaphor's art direction is like so sick. Best score and music, this is a tough one. I still don't believe Stellar Blade should be on here. I'm not saying that Stellar Blade's music is like bad or good. I just feel like it's kind of all over the place, if I'm gonna be completely honest. But then again, I haven't played it, so I don't know. Maybe it's like fine. I think it had like a lot of like wacky tracks on there. They were good tracks, but I don't know. Stellar Blade OST. It's fine. I don't know. It's just whatever. Do you know what I mean? Full original soundtrack. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. We'll play it eventually, have it, so. That's one thing. Can we, I'll just give it to, actually, no, I want to give it to Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2's music is kind of bang. No. I'm giving the Metaphor. Metaphor's music is so good, dude. Oh, Silent Hill 2. Easy. I feel like we need to give it to Silent Hill 2. I feel like a horror game needs to win. You know what I mean? This is a tough one. So she was Senua, I think, and it's okay. I feel so bad for her because like I don't think anyone fucking played Star Wars. Like, did anyone here give a shit about Star Wars fucking Outlaws? Like at all? Like that game fucking came out and no one talked about it. I'm gonna give it to Mr. Depressed Man over here. He did really good. Silent Hill 2 was crazy good. Accessibility stuff, I don't know. I will look into this. I was told that Veilguard was pretty good. But I looked into it and it's not like insane Veilguard accessibility, because they do have an accessibilities resource page. And you can always look it up, but I don't think they do. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they do enough. But I think also, like, the way that I'm looking at it, The Last of Us 2 literally just, like, made the game playable for people who cannot see. So it's, like, so, like, I don't know. I feel like this is just so, like, it's okay. How is Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown accessibility? Oh, there are literal sites that go like review the accessibilities. I'm sorry, it's too much to read. Accessibility spotlight. Ooh. Oh wait. I want a feature list. Whoa, that's crazy. You can put on subtitles, include QuickTime event. I just don't think anything does it like that good right now, at least. There is like a whole list. I don't know if it's like worth it though. But there's just nothing in there that goes like, wow, it's like super, like, you know, I'm happy that games are getting more and more accessible, which is great. But I don't know if like if there's anything that's like super crazy, or super like dramatic. Like, I don't know. I think it really boils down to like The Last of Us 2 literally is just like so good in terms of accessibility that like it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like it's just too hard of a buy, or like too high of a bar. Jesus Christ, I cannot talk. I think that's how tired I am. It's too high of a bar that like I don't know if it's like hard to compare it to at this point. High contrast settings, high contrast world mode. A choice of color and transparency can be FOV, no audio reliance. Captions, focus mode. Auto walk, Keymore remapping. Player assistance, too hard of a buy. Me too. But yeah, I don't think it's too hard. It's too high of a bar for like accessibility at this point for me. The Last of Us 2, they were literally like, yeah, if you're like deaf, you can play. If you need like, if you just need the world to be white and the enemies to be red and then you need to be blue, like that's literally like you can play the game like that. And it's so like, it's just, there's nothing that you can compare it to. You know what I mean? Like there's really like nothing that you can compare it to. Jesus fucking Christ.
It's been fantastic seeing the
Do you want to enable cookies? No.
response on Nixon and D5. Everyone's so excited to just share more.
Sounds, and they'd say yes, more of that, less of that, until we kind of.
It's always, I like to see like how people like go into the accessibilities, because I think it's really important to like kind of, whatchamacallit, to kind of like look at these things.
Remember this, I don't think I saw this, so I'm not sure what entirely this is.
Street food difficulty, that's funny.
Chicken goes, it's nice.
HUD background, speaker number,
And
explorer mode.
Zones.
This game got everything. What the fuck?
And
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, like as shitty as Ubisoft are, like is, they do have like really good accessibility settings. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just fucking eeny, meeny, miny. I don't think Diablo deserves it. I don't know what the fuck Call of Duty does. I still get called slurs in their lobbies, so I don't think it's fine. I don't even think they did anything super substantial with accessibility options. This video is 5 minutes long. This video is 5 minutes long. I don't even think they added anything crazy. So difficulty menu, okay. Go off. What do they get? Color customization. Okay, go off. Why is this here? Wait, let's see. All accessibility options. This is like really like not. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe I will give the Call of Duty. That's actually really sick. See, that's what I want. That's what I want to see more of in accessibility terms. Yeah, that's good. Okay, well, I can see them. Damn, they did a really good job. Shit, fuck. Oh, damn, I don't know. Sure, I'll give it to them. Games for Impact. I didn't realize this was a game. I've only watched someone play Double Exposure. It was neat and it was good. Best ongoing. I'm picking 14. I talked about this yesterday, but I don't think anything else deserves it. This studio just fucking fired a bunch of people. This is here. Fortnite exists and they crunched their studio, and then Helldivers 2 really hasn't done anything that substantial. They released that one really big update in quotes, and it wasn't like crazy good. Best community support. So I was made aware this is for the devs responding to the community. So I think 14 stood. I think that 14 interacting with their community is huge. I think that the community doesn't deserve the devs. High key. Independent game. Yeah, I haven't played any of this. I've heard a lot of good things about Animal Well. Maybe I'll just give it to that. It's the, I don't know, I'll just get best debut indie game. I'm giving this bitch a Baltro. I want to play Balatro though. Oh, best mobile game. I hope we get Zenless Zone Zero drops out of this. But I genuinely think that this game's like actually so good. It's so weird to think about because, oh, I'm skipping this one. Fuck this category. Best action game. I don't like any of these. Like, actually, I don't like any of these. I mean, I haven't played most of them. I played this one. This is literally the only game I played, so I guess we're picking Helldivers. I just have such a gripe with Helldivers. Action adventure. Why the fuck is Silent Hill on here? It's so jarring to see Silent Hill right next to Astrobot and Legend of Zelda Echoes. I'm gonna give it to Legend of Zelda though. Actually, no, I'm gonna give it to Astrobot. Shout out to Astrobot. We love Astrobot. Best RPG. This is a tough one. I'm gonna vote for my baby, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, just because I think that like the combat and stuff was like, for a person who doesn't like RPGs, to get into a JRPG was crazy. We're giving this to Tekken. If I see Multiverses win, I'm actually gonna lose it. GBF versus Rising I heard was like okay. Best family game. This is such a weird fucking thing. I give it to Mario Party though. Best sim strategy. I have not played any of these. Racing game. Haven't played any of them. Multiplayer. This is crazy. I will actually give it to Mario Party. I hope Mario Party wins. The new Mario Party was kind of banger. Best adaptation. I haven't seen any of these. But maybe we'll give it to my baby. I will give it to my baby. I was getting... I'm literally voting right now. Wow. I'm so tired. Most anticipating. This is so hard because I'm actually anticipated for all of these games. But I don't think I'm not as anticipated as for like Monster Hunter. Because at least for me, like I think I'm not as anticipated because this game's coming out soon. So you know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, actually maybe that makes it more anticipating. No, because like it's just like right there. It's around the corner and I've already played it and I already know it's going to be good. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited for it to come out already cuz it's like there. It's right there. This is crazy. The TGA drinking game. Drink a few ounces of water every time you hear exclusive world premiere or never before seen. This is to keep you alive. Awards. Take 2 shots of controversial game win awards. Oh my god. An award recipient where they don't know where to go. 1 gulp. Dude, I wish I could drink. These are even so funny. Oh my god. In an unlikely fighting game win. In an event of an unlikely fighting game win. The fighting game category, everyone finishes their drink. Because what the hell? Rapid fire. Rapid fire awards are given before... Oh my god, every cutaway. After Game of the Year is announced, everyone must open Twitter and find a tweet from a gamer complaining that it doesn't deserve the win. The last person to succeed takes a shot. That's so funny. World premiere sip. Oh god. Okay, I don't know. No, I'll just pick Monster Hunter. I think because this is the one that's coming in recently, and like we know, you know what I mean? Like we've played Monster Hunter. I played Monster Hunter. I know how Monster Hunter feels like. Everyone here is like theoretical. Like we know how Metroid Prime 4 is gonna look like, but I haven't played it. We have no clue how fucking GTA 6 is gonna play like. We don't know anything about Ghost of Yotei, and we just know that Death Stranding 2 is gonna be fucked up. Like there's nothing in there that like indicates this. I'm voting for Pecora. Sorry, I love I love the fucking queso at Waffle House picture, but I have to vote for another VTuber. Esports game? Valorant. I like Valorant visually. Everyone's really hot. Where's Faker? I'm voting Faker just because. There's one. I'm voting T1 because of Faker. I literally don't know anything about League of Legends, and I don't keep up with esports that much. But the fact that I know so much about Faker, I think is like kind of huge. Oh, that's crazy. There's gonna be rounds on this one. Okay. I'm gonna pick for Balatro. I just really wish this game wins. That's what I think. I think everyone loves Balatro. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna submit my vote. We have like 2 missing categories. Download my vote player card. Crazy. What did that do? Oh my god. Oh, that's crazy. They have like literally like a whole thing. That's so funny. I'm voting for like a Dragon just because. All right. How do I submit my votes? Turn it in, chief. Or do I have to hit everything? Oh god, ads ended. Hello, welcome back. Is everything voted for? No. I voted. Votes cast. Okay. Okay. I'm really tired. Today may have not been a good idea to stream, if I'm gonna be completely honest, but that's okay. I think people came in here and they're like, ew, he's talking now, gross. But I'm just chilling. I don't know. I'm like, today is like, whatever. I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is. I had to wake up at like 9 a.m. to like get tickets to see Otto. But you know what? Guess who got Otto tickets, fuckers? That's right, me. Maybe we'll just sit here and I'll just stare at you guys, and then that'll be it for the day. Where's my... Oh, do not put that at all. Holy shit. I'm so scared. I have like Shoto's like fucking Patreon pictures on here. I'm like, oopsies. This is the one that I can't show. Yes. We got tickets to Otto, baby. That's right. I woke up at 9 a.m. and struggled. Because this shit is hard. Dude, getting concert tickets... Getting concert tickets in the year 2024 is like so ass. It's so difficult. I mean, if like unless the band is like kind of small, like it's just kind of like fucked. I think especially for like Japanese like artists, because you know that they have like kind of a big following here. It really just depends. But if they don't have like a huge following, then it's hard to get. But Otto was put in like a giant stadium here, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go grab them. But even trying to grab them was ass. Also, it didn't prompt, like everyone had like a different system for like buying tickets. My friend wasn't able to get them in SoCal, and I was like, that sucks. I feel bad. I was like, do you want to come up to like NorCal? Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just excited. I get to see her again. The thing is, like, this time we know that she's gonna be in the auto box, right? So we try to pick seats that were like in a good spot to see the auto box. It was so funny. I was like chilling, and then one of my coworkers just like messages me and goes like, "Oh my god, Neko." This is my old coworker. I haven't talked to him in a hot minute, and I wanted to recently, but I was like, he was like, "Oh, hey, if you're going to see Otto, I'm gonna be there." I was like, oh my god. How did you know I'm going to? Cause I didn't tell him I went to the oh, maybe I did actually. I think I did. I told him I was going to the Otto concert, or I went to the Otto concert in March. But it was really funny for him to just be like, hey, I'm going. I was like, oh my god. Me too. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's so I don't know how to put it, but like I'm just like, oh, yeah. Today was not a good day to stream. That's fine. I guess we streamed anyways, huh? Is there anything else? No, that's it. I'm gonna I am going to try to see if I can organize a Game Awards watch stream, like a watch together stream with some friends. I think it would be very funny. Marginally. But for now, that's it actually. What do you want to do? No, I'll read out. I just don't know who. Maybe I won't. Actually, I'm too lazy. I'm gonna just end stream today, and then I will just hop into like everyone's streams and say hello. Well, I mean, I guess if we're gonna hop on someone's stream, we might as well just raid into them, huh? Okay, we'll pick somebody. Raid Neko. Yeah, I'm streaming right now. I don't want to stay up any longer. Scroll down to see. I have gotten a lot of work done. I will probably get more work done later too. Oh, I know who we're raiding actually. Never mind. All right, we're raiding Chewy. I'm gonna go in Chewy's chat and type /raid. /raid Chewy. How do you spell Chewy's name again? I was like, it's Chewy Duck, but I don't remember. That's so funny. What if I knocked on Chewy's stream right now? That's so fun. I love the knock feature. It's so stupid. I hope you guys don't send anything to Chewy that might be inflammatory. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. I'm just very tired today, I think. I think getting tickets in the morning kind of like pooped me out a little bit, and I wasn't able to get like a decent amount of nap time. I kept like waking up in the middle of it too, and I was like, I was hoping that like I would get a call from the place I applied to, but no. And then there was another place that I applied to, an IMO I was pretty qualified for, and I didn't even get a phone interview. That's fine. That's cool, I guess. You gotta love it sometimes. So fucked. I'm gonna ask Chewy what they think of that. I mean, I guess you could. Don't do anything like bad. I'll be back Friday. I'm probably it's gonna be raining, so I don't know if I'm gonna lose any access to internet or power or something. It's really supposed to be bad, but whatever. I'm gonna sit down and chill. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna work on things. But yeah. Game's almost done, at least to, you know, for you guys to play it. So I'll publish it eventually for subscribers. Okay, bye.